in 2006, we really started going fast, right? And so we felt like we could run power and counter against any defense. And so what we wanted to do is not have our quarterback check anything, right? We want to go as fast as humanly possible. Now, we have certain things we want to run to, which I'll get into in a second. We want obviously a double team to the point of attack if we can get it. That's my job as a coach to scheme it up, where hopefully we get the defense in a 3-tech or a nose, whatever it may be. But we weren't going to check out of it for any reason, and that's what I loved about it. Same blocking from center to the play side tight end. So it doesn't matter if it's power or if it's counter. Play side center to play side tackle tight end. They are blocking the same thing for all those plays. And so it didn't matter what we called or how we called it. If we called those 2 plays, they're blocking one way. And so, man, our guys got great. It looked different, but for our guys, it's down blocking, right? It's gap scheme. And so we really like that from center to play side, tackle, tight end, it wasn't changing. Double team at the point of attack. Gosh, back in 2005, 6, 7, we weren't very big up front. And we felt like, man, with zone and some other things, the defense could dictate to you that you one-on-one block. The great thing about power is, man, you get a point of attack double team most of the time, right? And so we loved it, and we felt like as a coaching staff and what I know, that's what I knew was gap scheme. I knew power, I knew GT, and so we felt like that was an advantage to us to get a double team at the point of attack. Our 2 smaller guys needed to get double teamed to be able to gain movement. 4 O-linemen, I've talked about this before in other talks. We felt like, man, we could have a center or 1 player in the O-line. Sometimes we didn't have 5 O-linemen, right, that kind of fit the bill per se. So we had to get that smaller guy, and as center can block back a lot of times on power, or he's getting help with double teams from the guard. And so sometimes that could be a 170, 180-pound wrestler type of kid, or even sometimes a bigger athlete type of kid. And so we didn't always have to have 5 O-linemen because, at our level, with 750 kids, sometimes we didn't have 5 O-linemen. We do most of the times now, but back then we didn't. It wasn't zone at the time we put this in. A lot of people were doing the zone stuff that were in the spread offense, right? And so we number one, we knew gap scheme. That's how I was brought up. That's how my O-line coach kind of knew and was played and was brought up. And so we had answers for gap scheme and power. We did not have as the same answers for zone. And that's what everyone was running at the time. And so we kind of wanted to be different. And then also multiple ways of running it. We felt, man, we could run power, like you said, 10 personnel. We could have a fullback. We could have a tight end fullback. We could have 2 fullbacks. We had answers. We have different multiple ways of running power out of the spread offense. So just like, man, I know I repeated this in the counter one, but I want to go over it still with the power. Again, front side from center to tackle, it's the same. We got a vertical double team with our left tackle, left guard if we're running power left. We want to get a vertical push. We want to get a vertical double team, and we want 4 eyes on this A-gap. Whether it's backside, perfect world, it's backside linebacker. If we get any stun or blitzes to the A, that guard takes it. But we're getting a double team. We're getting a vertical push to the backside A, right? Center is blocking back like we talked about. He can block back on a 3, he can block back on a 1. Sometimes teams are scared that don't master or run a lot of counter, run a lot of power. Man, we trust our center. He gets back to a lot of that. The thing I like about power over GT is that we're keeping this tackle backside B to C. So now the center's getting a little bit of help. We don't have to always read it. With counter, you have to read it a lot of time in 10 personnel, 11 personnel sometimes. With power, you do not. Fullback, we could be under center I. Our fullback, GT, right, our guard is kicking out. Now the fullback is the one kicking out, right? And we can say we can do it from a king, we can do it from a queen, we can do it from an I backfield. So it doesn't matter. He is kicking out, again, same as that backside guard. We want to teach him, he wants to take the V, the inside shoulder. So if it's a DN to the right, it would be his left, right, the V of his neck, and we want to kick him out, right? We want to J-step, we want to get vertical, and we want to kick him out. Just like that guard coming from GT, fullback, we want to kick that guy out. If that D-end is just hell-bent on squeezing, if he wrong arms, we still want to try to kick it out. Now that collision is going to happen here, and that guard naturally sees that log out. So just like the guard, we teach that fullback. We do not want to teach log early on, because I feel like if you teach that to those fullbacks, A lot of times they will take that. They'll say, oh, he closed. And now what happens is you're kicking out here and that whole thing bounces out and it's a mess. That's what the defense wants. They want you to bounce it. They want that guard to get messed up, right? Get in the trash kind of thing. So we want to teach that fullback to kick out. That guard now, just like the counter, the tackle, he's now the pull through guy. He is hugging that double team and looking inside out. So perfect world in a 4-2, it's that play side inside, right? Running backs basically do not change from power to counter. His aiming landmark is inside leg of the guard, but a lot of times he's going to follow that backside guard pulling. He's going from inside leg of the guard to B to C gap, right? Sometimes it cuts back to that backside A gap. That's where we want to hug it tight, but he can always bounce it depending on where that guard takes him. And again, we can do this under center shotgun a lot of different ways. Power read, which we'll get into. 3-3, same thing. Right now, our double team is happening with the center guard on the nose. Right? The great thing about this is, again, we don't have to read that first level because that tackle has backside B to C on the hinge step. Tackle is going to get inside the best he can. If that guy, again, just like counter, if that D end is inside that tackle in a 3 or a 4-eye kind of thing, he can take them. If not, we want to get to that. He's got B gap to the mic. Fullback again. Now versus a 3-man, he can get a little tighter. We want to kick it out no matter what. He better really wrong arm and get tight for us not to be able to kick that out. Guard, again, is hugging that double team, looking inside out on the guard pull versus power. Again, landmark doesn't change for tailback versus 3-3. 3-4, like I've talked about this in counter, we will influence block this, right? Versus a 3-4, if the left tackle, let's say we're running all these to the left, obviously. If he gets any B-gap pressure, whether that's the D end in a 3 or 4-eye, whether the backer walks up in a B-gap, whether this guy's looping in and he's pre-snap shows it, if he gets any B-gap pressure pre-snap, he erases the influence block and he's going to block down. And we can always check it. We can always tag it where he's not influencing. But if he doesn't get B-gap pressure in a 3-4, we will have summer rules where he will arc release to the outside backer. The thing I like about that is that D end, especially the D ends that kind of mirror and get hands on that D end or our left tackle. Now, man, that's a heck of an ear hole. It's like he's fighting zone or reach. He takes one step out and that's an easy ear hole block for that fullback. And now that hole just widens a little bit more. But double team doesn't change. Nothing changes from the guard to the tackle. The only guy that changes is really that tackle and his rules. But he's going to arc to the backer. Fullback kicks out. They get a double. Guard pulls through. And I really like that if it works in the 3-4.